Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So good afternoon, everyone. Very happy that we got some people here, even though we have a pretty rough weather right now. I hope you didn't have a difficult drive. So on this session, we're going to be doing short talks, right? So we're going to have the panelists talk about 20 minutes each on their presentation, but do include some times for questions. We're also transmitting live on Zoom. And I'm not sure if there's going to be a transmission in UACJ. We had it arranged, but unfortunately, due to the weather, UACJ said, you know what? After 2 p.m., no one can be on campus, right? So, but don't worry, we're going to record it as well. So if you have students and want to show them your recording, we're going to have it ready in a couple of weeks, all right? También muchas gracias a todos los profesores que vienen de la UACJ a dar su presentación. Bienvenidos a UTEP. Mucho gusto tenerlos aquí. So today we're going to talk about different presentations about water governance and restoration. And for the first session, we have with us Elizabeth Baini, who is has a PhD in the Department of Teacher Education. So if you want to go and step into the front, and the mic is all yours. And just make sure that you're close to that speaker so that people on Zoom can hear you, and I can handle the slides for you if you want.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm currently pursuing my PhD in teacher education, and my program is TLC, Teaching, Learning, and Culture. My background is in environmental sciences. I had that as my bachelor's, and then I went on to do environmental engineering, researching into biologically activated membrane filtration for drinking water systems. And then I went back to teaching. I was a school principal, school administrator for a long time. And then I'm back in school, trying to bridge these two things that I've been doing, the education and environmental sciences. So I'm researching into active learning pedagogies for environmental education. And today I'm just going to give a very brief description of what Ghana's water bodies are and why I think that they can leverage environmental education to secure our water bodies in the future. Can I use this? Probably not. Okay. All right. Okay. The problem with what we are facing in Ghana right now is that illegal mining activities is destroying Ghana's ecosystems, aquatic ecosystems. And we have quite an extensive, we have been blessed as a country. So we have lakes, we have big rivers, we have streams as well. And on the border here, that's the Atlantic Ocean. Ghana is in West Africa, just to give it a little perspective. We are bordered here by Togo, it's a French-speaking country, and Ivory Coast also. And then on the north is Burkina Faso. And this is just a map with showing all the different water resources that Ghana has. I want you to just have a picture of the extent of the expansion of the water bodies, because I'm going to show you another map very soon, okay? And what illegal gold mining is doing, particularly gold mining, is just destroying all the water bodies. I'll just show you a very short clip, about 3 minutes, and let's see if we can get this to work. Just quickly speak it also. Okay.
The Tana River in West Africa has been a lifeline for wildlife and people for centuries, but in recent years, its clear waters have turned a murky brown with little signs of life. The Tana River flows 400 kilometers from Techiman in Ghana's western region out to the Atlantic Ocean via a system of lagoons in the Ivory Coast. Ghana's Water Resources Commission describes the Tana River as highly polluted.
If you take the tunnel, it flows into the Abbey Lagoon, which obviously we share with Cote d'Ivoire. And if you look at the turbidity values, if you get into the thousands, it becomes difficult. It means you have to use more chemicals to treat. And of course, cost of treatment also increases, which means that they may find it difficult to treat their waters.
Samples taken in the town of Elugo found its turbidity, a measure of suspended material in water, was more than 100 times higher than the accepted standard for drinking water. Michael Inyibrivi Tanoe lives in the small farming town of Samrebui. He was named after the river and has fished here for about 40 years now.
I used to start from 6 o'clock in the evening to early in the morning, night time. I'll keep on fishing, and then during the day, I have to sell the fish throughout the month so that I use that money to pay my school fees. Before, the same amount of net I'm using, I can get a fish almost a basket full, very short and nice. But nowadays, the fish has become long and the fin has been changed. Even when you put net, there's no any way you can get a lot of fish because their movement has stopped.
The pollution in the Tana River comes mainly from irresponsible mining. Akonta Mining Limited is one of the main polluters. Its site appears to violate mining regulations, which require a 50-meter buffer zone from the nearest body of water, like the Tana River. An investigative team discovered mining taking place directly on the riverbed at 4 key pollution points along the river. In the Atala community, one of the pollution points, mining residue flows directly into the river. And in the village of Ohiampenica, massive devastation of forests and watercourses is clearly visible. Mining has left farming communities with polluted water sources and farmers begging for boreholes.
Nsuo kɛseɛ paa yɛ no ne kata no nso nkurɔfoɔ yi galamseyfoɔ yi adaworo ma wɔn abɛsɛe no.
So no asɛe ɛna nsuo na ɛwɔ ho no nyinaa ɛna so ɔmo gu so a ɔmo sɛe no nti sɛ no ama timaamɔfoɔ no yɛ brɛ ɛwɔ nsuo sɛm ho.
Ghana's government says it's renewing its fight against irresponsible mining.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask you how you feel about this in a short while, but you will need time to process your thoughts. So we are going to go back to the presentation. Where can I find it? I'm just going to ask you to, when you saw this, how did you feel about it? Just give you a short time to process you find words for that, and I will show you. We're just trying to pick it up, the presentation. There we go.
What's that for you?
I can take it out from here.
Yeah.
So the river we saw is just one, is the Tano River, is just one of the very many rivers that Ghana has. Now you see the map of Ghana, and this is the map of Ghana showing the mineral deposits in Ghana. I don't know if it's very visible enough, but with the key, wherever you see the black triangles, those are gold deposits. Now, what do you think about that? See the spread of the gold deposits? Awesome. What do you think? How did the video you saw make you feel? Now, I'm a teacher, so I'm going to have to solicit some answers from the audience. Yes.
Well, like I wanted to throw up, seeing the image. But I have a question, is where is this gold going to? What is the market for it? Is it being exported, being consumed here?
A lot of Ghana's gold is exported. And according to the records, about 60% of it goes by smuggling.
What is the pushback from the government?
Oh, okay. This should work.
Is there any measures in place to try to combat the illegal mining, or like is the government doing anything about it? Are they have ties to the government? Like,
It's a very good question. And I think that's where this session is very important. The government has tried, but we will see as we go on that it's a difficult situation because it has to also do with diplomatic issues as well. Because it's not just Ghanaian citizens that are doing this, there are other foreign nationals as well. And so it's a difficult thing. Ghana also had elections about the same time that America had elections last year. And illegal mining over the last 3 different elections has been the major driver or concern for the elections. We have made some progress, but there is still a very long way to go. Maybe we can take just one more. How did the video make you feel? Thank you. I felt the same way because I have a very personal connection to this. And is there a way I can show this full screen so the top doesn't show? This is a study that sampled different water bodies that have been affected by illegal gold mining. Ghana has a lot of deposits. It's not just gold, there's diamond, there are a lot of other things. Where I went to high school, during our time, we could actually find diamonds on the floor in our school farm and things like that. But I went to a college of education in one of the cities, and this was in 1996, between 1996 and the year 2000. And I remember that we would use water from one of the streams, one of the rivers that was shown, to cook. And it was so pure, it didn't need to be processed. And look at the colors of the waters now. So I was just trying to get, yeah, this should work. This is the river that I drank from when I was in the College of Education between 1996 and the year 2000. It was purer then. You could use it without even having to purify it. And that's why I share the same feeling, that we are not leaving anything for the next generations. A few facts and figures about Ghana's gold. Like I said again, there are different minerals that are mined from Ghana, but we have been mining gold since pre-colonial days. Actually, Ghana was initially called the Gold Coast. So the coast of gold. And then later on, the name was changed to Ghana. And South Africa used to be first in Africa with gold production, but Ghana overtook it in the year 2012. But 34% of all the gold that is mined is by illegal small-scale mining. And that is called, in local parlance, galamsey. It's like a pidgin word, gather them and sell. Galamsey. It's like a pidgin English word, you kind of put it together. So if you hear galamsey, you can actually Google galamsey and you will see all the effects that are coming up. And to just give a context of Ghana's gold, the Ashanti regional, there's a region, the Ashanti region. We still have a lot of chieftaincy, land ownership in Ghana. And the chief of the Ashanti region is called Otumfuo Osei Tutu. And his title is translated, literally translated, the one who sits on gold. In the local dialect, it's called Oti Kokoswo, the one who sits on gold. And there is a myth that there was a golden stool, you can see it up here, that was conjured from the sky, and that is what is the basis of the kingship of the Asantehene. He's a very prominent man. Again, if you just Google his name, you will see a lot of facts about him. And large-scale mining, mining in general is one of the economic activities, and illegal mining employs more people than legal mining. And legal mining is when they have the concessions, they go through the registration process, they have to abide by EPA regulations and everything. But illegal mining is I just have a few tools, I discover there is gold over here. I just go and dig, wash it in the water, and then I smuggle it and sell. It was okay when just a few people, when you are doing subsistence farming, is different from when you are doing commercialized agriculture. And it's very similar to the gold mining. And we had some influx of Chinese people. I went to do my master's in Guangzhou between 2009 and 2013. So I saw this influx. I actually know people that took investors from China to Ghana to mine gold. I actually saw this. There was a lot of them that will take excavators to Ghana and engage in illegal mining. And that was the difficult part, because then they're not going through the legal way of getting the concessions and abiding by the EPA regulations. There have been implications. They would arrest them. A lot of the situations, they are arrested, but they cannot even be prosecuted because there were no translators. You know, if you take them to court, they are speaking Chinese language and there's nobody there to translate. And so it was a very difficult thing. The ambassador, of course, condemns it, but it's still going on. And because it has a diplomatic situation, there's so much that the Ghanaian government could do. Because China is also like an economic partner with Ghana, and you want to be careful how you handle that situation. And that brings me to what I think can be done. Of course, there are economic gains with mining, which affects our social lives as well. But how about the environment? We saw the video. Besides just water, drinking water, the pollution affects all the other biodiversity around it. And illegal mining using chemicals, there are a lot of heavy metals that are going into, there are many of the diseases we haven't even seen before because it takes a while for it to show up. And so all those effects are still yet to be seen. And I felt that this quote from the 7 Generations International Foundation was so apt, because it is telling us as a government, as people that are in power, that can say something and do something. Our decisions must consider the impact. We have to consider the impact of our decisions on the 7th generation, not just what we can do today. How about our children and our children's children? What kind of world are we leaving for them? And that's where I think that education can play a big role. How can education help? I'm sure many of us, I have habits like that. There are some habits you have that you picked from school. I went to a secondary school, a high school, and we had German Roman sisters that were the heads of the schools. And one thing I still carry, because that was our training, is you don't waste food. Now think about all the food wastage that happens generally, and then in America in particular. But if you have a training that, you don't have to be told, but you are just kind of, I don't waste food. I don't take more than I can eat, so I don't waste it. How about we have that kind of training? There are teachers that inspire us, and many of the things that we do because we have been inspired by some teachers. If you're a parent here, you will have children that won't listen to you, but will listen to their teachers. Who can identify? Thank you. If you say they won't listen, but if you have your teacher say it, they will listen. Teachers have a lot of influence on children. And I believe that if we had the right teachers, we could leverage on the routines that we kind of, it becomes natural to us when we grow up. And the processes that becomes of school, that becomes our natural way of life. We can use that to grow in our children a way of sustainability. And I'm just giving a case study on this will affect everybody who has your phone on. There's a general alert for everybody. I'm just sharing 2 case studies of how I think education, environmental education, can help. With this case study of the College of Education in Botswana, they partnered with the University of Botswana. The College of Education in Botswana had green spaces but they are in an area that has very erratic rainfall patterns. And so it's not even sustainable to have greenery on the compound. Again, because they also wanted to train their teachers to have an environmental education pedagogy and skill to be able to teach that to the children, to the students, they partnered with the university. You're good, you're good.
We are not accustomed to this kind of. Sorry.
You're good, there's no problem. What they did was to install a rainwater harvesting system on the College of Education, as well as a gray water harvesting system. So a process, they harvest the water, they use it, and then they reuse it. And they established this on the campus of the College of Education in Botswana. Botswana is in southern part of Africa. And what this did for them was to give teachers or the professors on the University of, the College of Education, a space where when you are teaching environmental education, you don't have to take the pre-service teachers to a very far place to have practical work. So they have it right on the compound. And then at the same time, they could have the benefit of having the greenery and everything on the compound. And the benefit, what happened is now they are training a lot of teachers with sustainability pedagogy. It's so important. You can teach a lot of things, but how do you teach it so that it becomes a lifestyle for students? And that's where my research actually is. I'm particularly interested in problem-based learning. The second case study is something here in the US, and it's called STRAW, Students and Teachers Restoring a Watershed. It began from a classroom, a 4th grade classroom, where a teacher who is also passionate about the environment will take her students to restore a degraded watershed. It has now gone on for over 25 years, and students will typically have like an internship over a year where they are linked up with conservation scientists, water research scientists, and they do these projects of restoring watersheds, and they use beds to see how the effect is. They have done this for over 25 years, and one of the main gains is that they have students that graduate from these programs, and they are not just aware, but they are empowered to take action. Now, if you're thinking about the next generation, 7 generations of leaders who all have this idea that I can do something to save our environment, maybe right now we will have the difficulties, but we know that we have a generation of students that are coming up into leadership who will have a different mindset, who will make better decisions for us. And that's the idea. I think this is what we are doing when we are educating students. Do you agree with me? Generally, that is the idea of education. I know that we are treating them from the workforce as well, but we are hoping that we are passing on the values, the ethics, the visions of the future. What kind of life do we want to live in the future? And we are growing the next generation of leaders. Now, I was on a Zoom link workshop with Christy Belcourt. She's Canadian. She identifies with one of the First Nations of Canada, but she's an artist. Yeah, this is happening to all of us. It's about the weather. You're good. It might help for the other presenters when your phone is on silent. I don't mind.
It goes in and on silent.
You have
Really?
Yeah, you have to go to your settings and shut off the alert system.
Yeah.
So if you guys have an iPhone or like any smartphone, just go to the settings and turn off alerts.
Okay, thank you. Now, this is my closing. She shared on that workshop the process of her art, because all her art is about nature and ecosystems. And there is a spiritual side of her art, because she kind of connects to the natural world when she's painting. And she has different paintings with different names. On that workshop, this is her last slide that she shared, so I just took a screenshot. And she said the name of this painting is a lot lies on the shoulder of the one who handles the shovel. It's a very long sentence for saying the leader. A lot lies on the leader. So when I showed the video, I got a question, what is the government doing? What are the leaders doing? But we are all leaders in our various ways. And I can see the big potential the teachers have in raising the next generation. Thank you. A few of my references if you want to check. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're gonna leave the round of questions for the end. So if you have questions for the presenters, are you gonna be here until the end?
I have another presentation.
Okay, so are there any quick questions for Elizabeth right now?
I want to
One.
share something with the professor.
In the Soto Ciudad Juarez, there are a place that called Samalayuca. And like 6 years ago, one Canadian miner tried to start, and we fought against the Canadian miner. So congratulations, Professor.
Well, thank you. You are prophesying because I'm not yet a professor. So thank you very much for that. Any other? Yes.
In terms of the gold that's exported, does the Ghanaian? So, yes, in terms of the gold that's exported from Ghana, does the Ghanaian government have a certification program for legal gold that's sustainably mined?
Yes.
If that's possible.
Yes, they do. For those that have the mining concessions and go through the Minerals Commission of Ghana, they do. But a large proportion of it are illegal, so then they don't.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the presentation.